What's up, guys? Today I'll be showing you how to create a simple graffiti style text effect with a nice splash effect in the background of it. So what you're going to want to do is you want to hit File, New. Then you're going to want to I'm going to leave it as default. Actually, I'm going to change it to 640 by 480. You can choose whatever you wish, but I'm going to just choose this for the purposes of this tutorial. Now that we have our first layer as our background, what we're going to do is we're going to set our foreground and background layers. You can set your foreground or background to whatever color, foreground to whatever color you wish. I'm going to use this orange color. There's the HTML notation number if you want to use that to get the same color. And I'm going to set the background to gray. Again, you can set that to whatever you wish. Just make it so it goes good with the foreground because we're going to be making a gradient effect with it. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our text tool. This is big A right here in the toolbox. You're going to click on it, and then we're going to select our font. The font I'll be using is called Amsterdam Graffiti. This is a special font that I've downloaded extra, and that I will have the download link available to you guys in the subbar if you wish to download it. If you do not have it, you can use any font you wish to use right now, but it will not look as good. So right now we're going to set the font to 175. And then we're going to leave the color as the foreground color. And we're just going to sit in here and we're just going to start typing. Graphics Pro. Then we're going to center this in the background. You don't have to do that, but I'm going to do it. You can have it up here if you want, down here. It's up to you. For the purposes of this, we're going to put it right here. I'm going to close that box. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to right click on the text layer. And we're going to say alpha to selection. Once we do that, we're going to hit new layer, and we're going to call this text grad because we're going to be adding a gradient to the text. And we'll just hit OK. You're going to come over here to your gradient tool or your blend tool, and you're going to just leave everything normal if you haven't messed with it. Just make sure the shape's linear and the gradient is foreground to background. Now take your tool and put it right above the highest text point, and hold Control and drag down to the lowest. While holding Control, it'll be in straight lines. And that gives a nice gradient effect to it. And now you can come up and say select none to deselect the text. Next thing, we can just delete the original text layer since the gradient layer is now what we'll be working with. So you just select it and you hit the trash can. So now we'll be adding a border to it. And so we're going to say alpha to selection. And now we're going to go up to new layer. And we're just going to call it text border. Now we're going to go to select and we're going to go down to grow this time. And we're going to grow it by 6. This will give a nice border around the edges without overpowering the text. And we're going to fill this with black. Or, yeah, you got to select your bucket tool first. Sorry about that. And we're going to fill out black. And now that is done, we're going to take the text border and we're going to use this down arrow and put it below the text gradient layer so that it looks like that. And now you can say select or select none. Next thing we'll be doing is we'll be using our dodge burn tool to be adding some graffiti like paint drip effects to the text. For this, you're going to text grad, you're going to alpha to selection that, and we're going to go down to our dodge burn tool right here. After this, we're going to go down to the type. Dodge should be selected by default, but you want to deselect that and select burn. Now we'll be going to our brushes. The brushes that I'm going to be using for this, again, will be available for you to download in the subbar if you wish, or you can use what's already you have or what's available to you at the moment. So we're just going to select some, a little big, so we're going to scale it down a little bit, and that looks about good. Now the more you click in one spot, the darker it gets. If you click once, it's very light, hard to see. If you click multiple times, you see it gets dark. And we're just going to click around, change the style up a little bit. Definitely got to scale that down. And that looks pretty good. We're just going to leave it like that. Very simple. Now we're going to go select and back to none. Now we're going to make a layer. We're going to make a new layer above the background. So you're going to select your background and you hit new layer. We're going to call this graffiti because it's going to be our graffiti behind the text. If I can spell it right. There we go. So now you want to get your paintbrush tool. And now for the foreground color, that's the color that's going to be the color of the graffiti. So I'm going to select a nice blue here. I think I'll select that one. And then I'm going to go down and find one of these other brushes, and I'm going to definitely decrease this to about 23. I'll go a little bigger. It's okay if it's off, you know, it can be cut off a little bit. And then we're going to go to another one and put it on as well. Definitely got to decrease this one a little more, and we're going to put it right about here. And actually, I'm going to undo that. You can just hit Control Z to undo. I'm going to raise it up a little bit, and that looks pretty good. That's very basic. You can even add some other effects here if you wish. I'm going to add a little speaker up top here. You know, very basic, but very simple. And next thing we're going to do, the last thing, I always delete the background on these type of things because I like saving these as .png, and I like using them in other projects I'm working on. I don't want the background getting in the way. I just like that. So now once we do that, we're going to file and we're going to save as. And I always save 2 copies. I save the first one as a .xcf. So I'm going to say gfx.xcf. Now saving as a .xcf enables you, it saves it with all these layers intact. So you can come back, open it, and you'll have all these layers there and you can keep working with it. The next thing I'll save as is, in a new folder, I'll save as a .png. Or if you wish, a .jpeg, whatever you want. And then we're going to save that. Now this first box that pops up, you just hit export, just leave it as is, hit export, and then just hit save on the next one. Again, leaving everything default. And now it's saved. And that will make it so if you open that back up in here, it'll just be as one layer, so you can't edit it out. And there you have it. That's your basic graffiti style tutorial using Gimp. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something. And subscribe if you haven't. Like the video, and I'll be putting up more tutorial videos in the near future.